Hi everybody, I'm Ruechel and welcome to the PCS Journal, this portion of it where we sit down and talk with Dr. Michael Grego, the Superintendent of Pinellas County Schools. Glad you could join us, our first program, I believe in 2017. Dr. Grego, good to see you.
Good to see you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, and here we go, we're off and running. Hey, you know folks, I get a list of wonderful accomplishments, and oftentimes we get kind of waylaid in our conversations and I don't get to these, so if I cut you short on something, I want to make sure I get to all of these kudos, because there's a lot of great things going on with the school district, and this isn't, trying to hype things, it's just the reality of what's going on. And but let's start out with the sublime, which is the legislature and money for education this coming up year. You met with a subcommittee recently on education up in Tallahassee?
I did. Four of my colleagues, superintendents, went up and we had a serious discussion with the educational subcommittee on testing of all other topics. And we gave them some pretty pointed recommendations. I was very pleased with, Al, that they listened, asked a lot of questions, and then we listened to some parents have some concerns. The primary scope of our discussion was an attempt to narrow the window of testing. You know, we're going to start this state testing near the middle of end of February. And for many schools, especially our high schools, as you know, that testing goes all the way to the middle of May with advanced placement testing, with state testing. And so we're saying, and the state's saying now, I think they're realizing that pendulum swung a little bit too far.
Yeah, right.
They're saying, look, this is getting out of hand. And so we're looking at shortening the window, and we provided some recommendations of how to do that. One method of how to do that is to go back to a paper and pencil test. Okay. No one's against computerized testing. I think it's a wave, and it's certainly in our future. But there's a reason why major testing companies like the SAT and ACT still give paper and pencil tests. It's efficient, and also it's a great point of reflection that years ago when the FCAT was here, you know, people don't realize, but we had 2 weeks as a testing window. We tested everyone in the school district in 2 weeks. And now that window is almost 2.5 months.
Oh, no.
So we're in a position where we have so many computers and we want optimal conditions, and so that continues to expand the testing window. So our first recommendation is, you know, nothing against computerized testing. We need to move a little bit more slower, but let's go back to paper and pencil. And we're estimating that we would reduce 4 weeks of a testing window. The other is to begin to eliminate some of the tests. And the ESSA on a federal level does not require every type of test and every grade and every subject that the state of Florida does. So we're recommending that we eliminate some of the high school end of course exams, which will shorten the testing window again. Now remember, a lot of these tests were developed years ago when we were going to give a VAM score to every single teacher, and we're going to test every subject in every course. So those are some of the things that we laid out to the senators, and there was great reception for it. And we had a couple of other recommendations to again, reduce the window, eliminate, but we still latch on. It's still, we want accountability.
Absolutely.
We have to inform our parents. So how are their students doing? How are they growing? What are the learning gains? And this is still very important to superintendents.
Yeah, and some people would say that, you know, you're looking for a measurement tool, but when your measurement tool, you use your measurement tool and all of a sudden, wait, where's the rest of the school year gone? So it's kind of like, what's the value of the measurement tool if you can't monitor it, you know, earlier on and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting, and I've talked to some of the lawmakers myself on some of our programs on political connection, and believe me, reducing testing is right at the top of their list. So we'll see what goes on. So they're going to give you more money too, right? I don't know. I'm doing a wink on this one, but I know that was one of the pushes that Richard Corcoran, who is the new Speaker of the House, said we need to get more money for education.
We really do, and we need to take a serious look at where the state of Florida needs to invest in education, public education throughout, and compare ourselves to other states in the United States, and continue to invest in our future. So we will be fighting for more dollars to go directly into the classroom. As you know, Pinellas County has had a greater percentage of dollars going directly into the classroom, an increase each and every year, and we're going to continue to do that.
All right, let's talk about some of these achievements here, because this is really cool stuff. Let's start out with Jamerson STEM standout Lucas Hefty. Tell me about the honor that he won.
The Milken Foundation, the Milken family, is a national foundation, and their focus is a wonderful focus, right? Their focus is is to celebrate teachers and the teaching profession. Very few foundations do this.
Right, yeah.
They go around throughout the United States. It's not something you can apply for. They find you. You're not going to apply and have them have your name where they're reviewing it. And they found one of our teachers, Lucas Hefty, who's a coordinator of the magnet program at Jamerson. They come in and it's a complete surprise, the Milken Teacher Award. It's the only one in the state of Florida this year, and it's one of 35 throughout the United States. It's amazing how they do this. But they've been doing it for a number of years, and it's a very special award. It's an honor. It's a national honor.
That's great. That's good.
And so we had the celebration at Jamerson with complete assembly, every student in the school. It was a complete surprise. We were able to keep that as a surprise. Thank you very much to Bay News 9 for being there and covering that special event. And not only the recognition and the professional development that goes along with this, but they also handed him a check for $25,000.
Oh my goodness,
that was special.
That's a real special thank you. Congratulations to him, because I know they don't do it for the money, obviously, but his heart's into it, and that's what really counts. All right, the school won another award for family and community engagement. Now tell me about that one.
The Spark Plugs, it's a state award, and both Clearwater High School for their career academies, wall-to-wall, engaging families, engaging students, and also the Jamerson Elementary School for their evening of excellence, where they invite all the parents in for all their engineering projects.
Yeah.
So they were recognized on a state level for innovative strategies to really engage the community, engage the parents.
You know, we've had Jamerson on these lists a lot.
They do great work there.
Yeah,
They do great
obviously.
work.
Congratulations to them. All right, one of the things that is also kind of in the news that people are always talking about, the graduation rate. And I got to be honest with you, because I've been covering the education beat for years and years and years. And I always thought it was kind of like apples and oranges. Like some people get counted twice or weren't counted. And you know, I don't want to say it was phony baloney, but it's one of those things where how do you keep track of what the graduation rate is? And does that just mean how many people graduate after they go through the entire 12 years of their school? Is it just the high school years? Tell me what it is.
It's a 4-year cohort, Al. It takes a snapshot in 9th grade, and then it takes the same snapshot of the same students in 12th grade. And it says you have a time limit. So if you walk across the stage after 4 years with a standard high school diploma, not a certificate of completion, not a special diploma. So the students who aren't counted that sometimes feel that they should be, students with significant disabilities that perhaps aren't able to sit for all of these tests that we've talked about before.
Yeah.
They get a special diploma or certificate of completion. They've done a great job. Many of them are transitioning into work, into jobs, and great livelihoods into our community. But they didn't pass all of those benchmarks. So they don't count. Students who may, because of life circumstances, have to go get a GED, they don't count. Students who perhaps need a little bit longer. I mean, many of our universities know that too. So a student who needs maybe
the 5-year plan,
or the 4.5-year plan, they don't count. So, you know, we were celebrating that we broke through the 80%, but graduation, 80.1, one of the fastest growing rates in the last 4 years of large school districts. But so it's hard for people to understand, well, where's the other 20?
Yeah, that's always been a thing on my mind.
The students with disabilities, there's an X percentage, and then you also have students who take a little bit longer, and we celebrate that they graduated, but that rate isn't reflected.
Is it the same from state to state to state? Are we all working with equal numbers here or not?
We're trying to. We'll never absolutely get there. For example, in the state of Florida, you must pass a state exam in English language arts in 10th grade. You must pass a state exam in Algebra 1. You must, you know, so Florida has its graduation requirements. Say you go to another state where they don't have those 2 exams as a graduation requirement, but they classify a student as a graduate with other requirements. So are you comparing true apples to apples? No, but the federal graduation rate is the closest we've come to in years.
All right. Let's talk about Lunch Pals. What's that program about?
Lunch Pals has grown, especially from, I want to say just a shout out to Raymond James and Ron Diner of Lunch Pals. Raymond James made the commitment to help support not only Ron Diner, but also a position here in our district. And you know, this is a great conversation. You know, January is Mentor Month, and so we're celebrating the mentors, the many that we have. What LunchPal does is it goes into major companies. We have right now 43 companies, business partners in the Pinellas County area where they're impacting 81 schools, and it's amazing, but about 600 employees who go into our schools during lunch, and they're a pal with a student.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's a 20-minute, half-hour commitment of just going in once a week, talking with a student. How are you doing? How are your grades going?
Yep.
Anything else? So it's called Lunch Pals, and it has taken off like crazy. And I give all the credit to Raymond James, our staff, and Ron Diner, who's really championed this effort.
Ron Diner?
Diner.
Lunch Pals?
Lunch Pals.
We know we're going to get there. Okay, other stuff we want to run through quickly. 25 Pinellas schools earning a 5-star school award.
Yeah, this is the state's 5-star school award where we're seen and we're evaluated by an outside evaluator, the Florida Department of Education, for our ability to reach out to communities, and it's almost like that old red carpet award where, so how open are you, and so forth. And so we're real proud. It's certainly an application, and schools that take advantage of it, I'm proud of their recognition for such a community award.
Transformation zones, what are they? And by the way, when I see all these programs, I go, how do you keep track of all these programs?
The Transformation Zone, and we know it by, is Antonio Burton. You've interviewed him.
Yeah.
Too. He has 8 schools under his responsibility, some of our most struggling schools in some of our most impoverished area. Al, they're making tremendous gains. I'm so proud of what they're doing, and what they've added in those schools are Saturday academies. People and parents are sending their students for math instruction, science instruction, reading instruction, outdoor activities on a weekend, on a Saturday. And so we're making this fun. It's an early morning Saturday. It's not every Saturday for some schools. Each of these Transformation Zone schools, they have their own schedule. But I think we ought to celebrate the fact that our community is out there, our school, our teachers, our principals are out there on Saturday, and they're working with students.
Right. Ford Next Generation Conference, we talked about that last year, and this one is a big deal for Pinellas County. Yeah, I know.
It's a big deal. There'll be people from throughout the United States coming to the trade winds, and that's February 21st through the 23rd. There's also a special conference solely for superintendents.
Oh.
They're coming from throughout the United States to learn how we're doing in Pinellas and learn from each other, honestly. We have field trips to Largo, Seminole, Northeast, and Gibbs High School, and also Pinellas Technical College. Exciting thing, puts us on the map, on the national scene, and we are thrilled that
people
Ford
look at us and say, hey, you're
us.
doing the right thing. That's great. Congratulations, Lakewood Elementary, Day of Service. Bullying awareness, by the way, I saw a lot of the video from that Day of Awareness and the Day of Service, MLK Day. You know, bullying, it's still a problem, isn't it?
It is, and we have to stay ahead of it, and we have to continue and not go to sleep at the wheel with this. This has to be a continual type of lesson, not only in our schools, though. I want to challenge our communities, our churches, and parents to really talk to your child and talk to your congregation about this, about treating other people. It's a simple rule. Treat other people like you'd like to be treated.
Yeah, right.
It really does work.
And lastly, I'm going to mention David Milnick, Food Service Support Employee of the Year, Lake St. George Elementary School. Congratulations, David. You're a good man. And we're out of time. How about that? Dr. Grego, thank you so much for your time. We're back with more of our program right after this.